Hey guys, Sarah here. I am that pesky abolitionist ultrasound tech that keeps talking to you guys about the heartbeat bill, and I thought I would go over a few more details with you for those who are paying attention and those that care about this type of thing. I have pulled up quite a few articles here to prove why the heartbeat bill is not going to save babies in the first trimester. This bill is being advertised as saving babies as early as 6 weeks, and I'm going to prove to you guys how that's not going to happen. I have some articles pulled up by the sponsors of the heartbeat bill, which is Faith to Action, and I have some other articles pulled up. So it's all on my desk. I got a textbook here. So I'm just going to go over this stuff with you so you can see where I'm coming from and explain how this isn't going to save babies as it's being advertised. The pro-life movement, which is really just the pro-life establishment, is just taking donations and votes for a ride. So let's get right down to it. I'm going to go back and forth and flip my camera to show you guys this kind of stuff. So bear with me and just pay attention. I'm going to try to make this as educational and interesting as possible. I'm really going to try to connect these dots for you guys to see how the heartbeat bill is not doing what it's going to say it's going to do. Okay. People who are writing this know better. I've talked to them about these points. I've given testimony regarding this at the health committee. Hey Thomas, I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm just going to go down through a few things. So if I miss some of these comments, I'm going to go down through and answer them later so I can just get through the points I want to share right now. And I will answer all your questions. So, okay, so I'm going to flip this around real quick. Okay, so this is the first article I've pulled up. This is from, if you see the website up there, it says F2A. It's a Q&A. It's from the Faith to Action. This is the pro-life lobbying organization that's put forth the heartbeat bill, the questions regarding it. So I'm going to go over this first page here and look at a couple things with you guys. So it says point 1, it says test. We're going to test this. Okay, it requires the physician, according to standard medical practice, to determine whether the unborn child has a detectable heartbeat. Sounds good, right? Sounds pretty good on the surface, but let's break this down a little bit. Okay, test requires the physician. Okay, who is the physician in question here that this heartbeat bill is talking about? Okay, it's talking about the abortionist. That is who is going to do the scan according to this bill. It says according to standard medical practice, which it doesn't specify what that is. It just says in parentheses whatever method that you want to use to determine whether the unborn child has a detectable heartbeat. Okay, inform the mother of the results of that determination, which we're trusting murders to tell the truth, so you can easily lie to her. Protect the unborn child with a detectable heartbeat, except in the to save the life or physical health of the mother. Okay. That's a whole window of ways to get around this also. I'm not even going to touch on that in this video. That'll be for another video. But as you can see, that leaves a wide exception in there for the abortionist to determine what that means, life or physical health of the mother, which there are no reasons to ever abort. So that shouldn't be in there either. But I'm going to really harp on, says test number 1 here. Requires the physician a standard medical practice. I want to go back. I'm going to click on this. So this is the most recent Q&A here for the current bill. It's called SB 23. That's the current title and name of it. This was first introduced in 2011. So I actually found the original Q&A from 2011. You can see it's the same. There's the date up there. It says facts regarding House Bill 125, which was the original title of the bill, the heartbeat bill here in Ohio. It actually has the same 3 bullet points here, but the wording's different. So check this out. It says it requires the abortionist. What did we just see in the other one? It says physician. See how they changed the name? Because they know it's the abortionist doing this, but they made it sound a little nicer and just said physician, as if, that makes him more trustworthy. It says, but this is the baby killer right here. To check to see if the unborn baby the pregnant woman is carrying has a heartbeat. Okay, so he's really going to look for this heartbeat, right? Because he has all intentions of saving this baby's life, right? If the child to be born or is found to have a heartbeat, it requires the abortionist to let the mother know of this. Okay, again, trusting the abortionist. If the baby is found to have a detectable heartbeat, the child is protected from being killed by an elective abortion. Okay, who's gonna hold these people accountable? All you have to do on these ultrasound machines is take a picture where you want it to take a picture. It's completely 100% operator dependent. Whatever the abortionist, whatever picture they want to take, you can easily miss the heartbeat and miss it on purpose and just take a picture, put that in the chart. There's no hard drive to these machines. It's not like these great big hospitals where they have the hard drives. They're just using the ultrasound machines that just print out single pictures here. So this was from 2011 and then back to today. See how they changed the words of that? Require the physician sounds a lot nicer, right? It's still requiring the abortionist to do the test and to tell the truth. So those are some really important points there that I wanted to bring up. Okay, so standard medical practice. What is a standard medical practice? Okay, there's two types of ultrasounds. There's what's called a transabdominal ultrasound, which is on top of the belly. It's also called an external ultrasound. And then there's an internal ultrasound. So flip this down. Let me go to the next one. So there's also an internal ultrasound. It's also called a transvaginal ultrasound because it goes into the vaginal vault and looks at the baby that way. It's anatomically going to be more accurate because you can see details better. You can see things that are very, very small that you couldn't see on top of the belly. And just the measurements are more accurate to do an internal ultrasound. So to see a baby at 6 weeks, that baby's 2 millimeters big. Okay, I'm actually gonna pan over to a textbook here. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this textbook that I'm using here. This is what I used in college. This is what all ultrasound techs, this is like our standard, this big fat book that has everything ultrasound in. A lot of radiologists use this too. This is a really popular textbook here, has everything ultrasound, OBGYN in here. So here's one of the charts here that I want you guys to look at just to prove this, okay? So this shows menstrual age of the baby. So by first menstrual period, how old the baby is. Menstrual age in weeks. Has some measurements here. So this is what I want you to look at. So crown rump length. Crown meaning the top of the head, rump meaning the baby's bottom. From top to bottom there in the first trimester, this is how we measure the baby. 0.2. 0.2 what? Centimeters. So that's 2 millimeters. That's very, very small, right? So that's the first indication of how small the baby is when we can first identify the baby on ultrasound. Where's the age here? So 5.7 weeks. That's 5 weeks, 5 days. So just around 6 weeks, we can see a baby at 2 millimeters big. Okay. As soon as we see the baby's body, we should automatically see the baby's heart beating. That's as early as we can see it. So yes, medically, technically, we can see a beating heart as early as 6 weeks. That part is true. However, the abortionists, abortion facilities, they are not going to be doing, one, an internal ultrasound to see this baby this small, and two, it takes some skill to do it. It takes, you have to know the right angle to do it, how to manipulate just the probe just to get the image correctly. And again, it's very, very small, okay? So you have to have an internal ultrasound to see that. Let's go over to see what SB 23 actually says regarding the type of ultrasound. Okay, we're at page 16. This is the newest up-to-date version of the bill. You can pull this up on the government website and take a look here. Look down on kind of the middle to the bottom here. It says, performing an examination for the purpose of determining the presence of a fetal heartbeat of an unborn individual based on standard medical practice. The rules shall require only that an examination shall be performed externally. Nothing in this section shall be construed as requiring a transvaginal ultrasound. Okay, so that goes against everything that we just learned, everything that I just showed you, okay? It even says in the bill that it's not required to do an internal ultrasound. There's no way that anybody's going to see a baby at 6 weeks or even 7 weeks without doing that internal ultrasound, okay? Okay, so that's actually specifically written in there. So like the point isn't to just say, oh, all we need to do is add an internal ultrasound in there and then they're going to find all these babies, we could save all these babies. It still goes back to the concept that we're trusting murders to tell the truth, that they're going to do an accurate ultrasound. But this type of test, an ultrasound, is completely operator dependent. It takes a picture where I tell it to take a picture. It's going to take a picture where the abortionist or the ultrasound tech at the abortion clinic tells it to take a picture. But that being said, it's specifically written into this bill that's being marketed as saving babies as early as 6 weeks, but it won't, okay? Let me pull up some other things here. Okay. Okay, so back to the Q&A for the most up-to-date heartbeat bill here. So it does say, if you look at point number 3 in red, it says, how can a heartbeat be detected? Once the unborn child's heart begins to beat at 18 to 21 days, our current technology, which is ultrasound, can often detect the baby's heart beating between 6 and 12 weeks. It's a huge gap in there. So yes, we can do it, like I said, at 6 weeks. I hate to keep repeating myself. This is really important. This is a baby that's 2 millimeters big. The test that we need isn't even being done, and it's being done by the people who actually want to kill the baby, so it's not going to be done well or accurately. It does go all the way up to 12 weeks. That also is a very important point, and I want to show you why. Okay. Oh, and just to go back, not that, you know, you guys don't believe me on this, but I mean, if you pull up any article on this, I mean, that's everywhere. It just says that it's going to save babies like at 6 weeks. Happen within 6 weeks of pregnancy. It's going to, you know, stop abortion. And here's, so that's at the Hill. There's another one here, the Dayton Daily News. If you just go down, as early as 6 weeks into the pregnancy, it's going to stop abortion and save these babies. So, I mean, that's just what's out there. That's what's being reported. But that's not true. Okay. So you saw on there on the heartbeat bill Q&A that it's going to save babies anywhere from 6 weeks to 12 weeks. That's a really broad range, right? That's a month and a half. That's 6 weeks there. So why the discrepancy? Why that big difference? Well, a couple things. If they are using a transabdominal ultrasound, there's a lot of different factors of how they can see a baby. Like, let's just take 8 weeks, for example, which a lot of abortions take place at 8 weeks. Why would they be able to see a baby with a beating heart at 8 weeks on one woman and not on another woman? Well, the uterus inside of a woman, it can be positioned differently. There's different shapes of the uterus. There's subtated uteruses. There's didelphic uteruses. There is what's called retroverted uteruses. There's uterus with fibroids in them. There's a lot of different factors of the uterus itself that can cloud the image of the baby. If there's air in the abdominal cavity or in the pelvis, that can cloud the image. Whether the bladder is full or decompressed, that makes a difference. Whether the mom is fat or skinny, her size makes a difference of how we can see the baby transabdominally. There's a lot of different factors. So it very well might be true that the one doing the ultrasound may not see an 8-week baby or a 10-week baby transabdominally, okay? Even if they are telling the truth, it may be very difficult to do. And even if they do see the baby's body, they might not be able to pick up the heartbeat. If that all makes sense to you guys, okay? So there's a lot of different factors, and it is written in the Q&A that it might not pick up the baby's heartbeat until 12 weeks. But they're not, you know, focusing on that. They just keep saying it's going to ban abortion at 6 weeks when it's not. Okay, that's a lie. It's just not going to do that. I also want to show you this interesting piece of information that I got a few days ago. Okay, a few days ago I went to an event at downtown in Columbus, Ohio. I'm from Ohio, so this is the particular bill that I'm talking about. It's called the Pro-Life Legislative Day 2019. It was this past Wednesday on March 13th, and they handed out this kind of brochure with some information in it, some names of the speakers and all that kind of stuff. So I want to show you in here. I'm going to flip this around again to show you guys all this evidence. I want you to see it. Okay, so here is the little paper thing I got talking about all this pro-life legislation. There was tons of pro-life legislation that they were talking about here. Lobbying tips, all that kind of stuff. But this is what I want to point out here. So on this page, it says Senate Bill 23. Fast facts. This legislation would prohibit abortion when a human heartbeat can be detected. Okay. The abdominal ultrasound, so here they're actually showing that it is the abdominal ultrasound, okay, proving the point that I've said many, many times over time here. It's finally put out in this brochure. The abdominal ultrasound can detect a heartbeat between, finally moves it up, 8 to 12 weeks here. Huh, that's just interesting. Here's another interesting fact. This recent poll found that 80% of Americans want to limit abortion to no later than the first 3 months of pregnancy at 12 weeks. Okay, so it may not even, by its own admission, protect babies at 12 weeks. Most Americans are okay with abortions all the way up to 12 weeks. Okay, so tell me how it's gonna protect any of these babies, right? I don't see how their math is adding up whatsoever. Okay, So one more thing. We're going to go to, let's see, the Guttmacher.org. So this is where a lot of abortion statistics come from. They've got all kinds of charts and numbers and stuff here. So I just clicked on that, and we're going to go down to this little chart, which many of you probably already know this, but again, I want evidence. I don't want it to just be my opinion here. I want to back up all what I'm saying with facts here. Okay, 2/3 of abortions occur at 8 weeks of pregnancy or earlier. 89% occur within the first 12 weeks, right? Okay, so if most abortions occur within the first 12 weeks, nearly 90%, how in the world, in this, and it's allowing abortions essentially up to 12 weeks, and most abortions occur then, how is it going to save almost all of these babies when it's not protecting nearly 90% of them? And probably even more, because as we saw earlier in the Q&A, that has exceptions in here to save the life or physical health of the mother, which can be made up on a whim by the abortionist. So it's even greater than that. I don't see how this is going to save a single baby, honestly. This is just, it's not unbelievable to me, because I know this has been going on for a while. I know this information. I'm an RDMS. So the actual title that I have is called a Registered Diagnostic Medical Sonographer. Okay, so I'm able to diagnose as well. I work with doctors on this. I do ultrasounds. Okay, so I know this. I'm trying to get this word out because I think that this is very, very important that you guys understand. Because even though I've talked to people and I need to cut and paste responses to comments on Facebook, like all day long trying to explain this. So I wanted to put out this video to hopefully be more thorough and show people exactly what I'm talking about here. Because people just keep saying, well, it's better than nothing, or it's a step in the right direction, or, you know, but no, it's not a step in the right direction. It's this false illusion that we're doing something for these babies, and we're going to let our guard down if this passes and say, man, most babies are being saved, when really these abortion facilities are going to get around this piece of cake, guys. They'll be laughing at us. All these babies are going to be murdered anyways. So say, hypothetically though, the abortion rate does go down a little bit. Say women actually can't, just in their minds, think that they can't get an abortion. So maybe just by their ignorance of not understanding the bill, knowing that they actually can, don't go through with abortion, or maybe they go out of state. So maybe then the numbers would go down in Ohio. Just say hypothetically. Say it saves a couple thousand babies in Ohio. Instead of 20,000 babies murdered, goes down to, you know, 16, 17,000, something like that. And they'll say, look, these babies are still being saved because of this piece of legislation. What that's doing, mostly I'm talking about the people who would support the heartbeat bill, or pro-lifers, or, you know, those types of people, that population. They're gonna continue to think, again, like the bill is actually doing something for these babies, and it's just gonna delay abolition longer. So it's gonna have the illusion of saving some babies, when it actually just perpetuates abortion longer in this state, okay? And abolition is just further away. This bill started in 2011. If we had demanded abolition back then, look how much closer we would be to actually ending the killing in our state. Okay, but we've put all our eggs in the basket with this piece of legislation, and it really just doesn't protect any babies at all. It's literally just like you're on a treadmill. Just it seems like you're going somewhere, and you're not going anywhere. Okay? So I might take a minute and just go down through these comments. Yeah. Not only, I mean, obviously it's not God honoring. I mean, it's we're sacrificing babies in hopes of saving some babies, but you can't do that. Okay, it's not actually going to save any, but you can't sacrifice them anyway. You can't give permission to kill these babies in hopes of saving a couple. All right. Now Judah said so many loopholes. Yeah. So anyways, I just want to show that to you guys. I just want to break that down to you. Just do your own research. Look at the bill. Like, read it. If you have any questions, you feel free to PM me. That's fine. I'll be more than happy to help you. I really want people to understand how, when people think that this is the heartbeat bill is the best of what we got, so we might as well just put everything behind it. You know, we've already put all this time and effort and lobbying into it. Let's just get behind it. Let's just get behind it. No, we can stop now and just say, we don't want this. This is wrong. We need to gut it and make it a total abolition bill. We need to shut down these hellholes and make it so there is no ultrasound by an abortionist that they can even fudge or make up to justify the killing. We need to shut them down. Okay, we need to abolish it so they don't have permission from the pro-life establishment to kill babies. Okay, so I'm encouraging you guys to really just look into this, read the bill, just pull this stuff up. I just pulled it up on the internet. You can look at the Q&A on the Faith to Action website regarding the bills, and you've seen everywhere in all these articles that it is being advertised as saving babies is 6 weeks. Look at a textbook. How big is a baby at 6 weeks? How do you detect a baby at 6 weeks? Just do it. Just do it yourself, or just watch this video and share the video and inform your friends about what the heartbeat bill is really doing. And just keep up the good fight, guys. Let's just fight for truth and justice and abolish human abortion, guys. All right, take care.